And at the same time, like, I do have married girlfriends, and having separate friends in general is a really good thing, because it's like you're not always my go-to person. Not that I don't want to hang out with you 24 hours a day, but it's cool to hang out with other people. And I have some married friends, and I'd be like, girl, you know what, James, we moved in, and he leaves socks on the floor. I'm making this up. He leaves socks on the floor, and I hate those socks on the floor. I could just burn them up or something. And my girlfriend would be like, you know what? My husband leaves socks on the floor too, And you realize we're having the same problems.
Just being able to relate.
Right. Like, we have the same
problems.
That
a little bit?
What?
Can we? So she's probably gonna get mad at me, but we're going here.
Don't be mad. It's
I
okay.
can't. So she really likes to keep our issues insular. She doesn't talk to anybody about the stuff that I do that really ticks her off.
The major stuff. Socks on the floor is one thing.
And she doesn't want me going and talking and venting to other people about her. Because right? So like, that's been a really hard thing, because I'm used to having my two go-to friends that I tell everything. It's what?
I'm just raising my hand. I'm getting ready to respond.
I go and it's like, man, I can't believe she did this, that, the other. And then they would be able to calm me down, reel me back in, and give me the perspective I needed to go back and be like, you know what, you're right, I'm wrong. Now I have to deal with that crap myself. And so that's led to other issues, and we've had arguments about that point.
But my whole thing with that is kind of like you were saying with the whole family thing. The people that he wants to go and talk to are like his family. They're not literally family. That's his best friends, college, all that stuff. So my thing is, when it comes to root issues, core issues, I just wouldn't want him going and talking to those friends, because then I don't have those relationships like he has, obviously. They come back on me, blah, blah, blah. So, silly little things, of course. Go talk to your friends, do whatever. But those issues that we have where we've gotten in a fight about something,
like race in America.
Yeah, it's a learning process. So when she had told me that I was being too political, it's my turn to tell her that. She didn't touch on it all the way. I am that person where I will go and run and tell that to my close family. Like, it is my
to your mama.
Yes, to my mother. Yes, I will do that. And let me tell you this: it is so scary when I come home. We had a huge, a semi-huge argument, and she's like,
"And what was it about?" I don't even remember.
It was nothing.
Exactly.
But she just saw me, and she's like, "You talked to your mama, didn't you?"
Yeah.
And I was like.
He's like, what?
What?
I know you can hear.
So the way she can read me is incredible, but that's another story. So the advice, and this is something I still am learning through, so I'm not on anybody's high horse, but it truly is a learning process to understand when you can speak outside the marriage. Because as I learn, there are things that have to stay in the marriage. We can get biblical, like, I found my good thing, so it is me and her, one flesh, and it's not meant for me to go back and get the advice from my dad, get the advice from my mom. One, I maybe should have already learned that prior to, and then secondly, there's things that I have to learn on my own. So in understanding the woman I'm with, I know that serious stuff needs to stay in our house.
I just feel like, why he doesn't come back and talk to me?
I mean, sometimes it's hard. And we're really talking about it now. Like, sometimes it's hard because I think a lot in my head. I talk to myself. That's my way of processing. But to say those same words from by myself in the car to her, when I'm looking at her physical reactions to it, it's extremely hard. It comes from a place of love, because I don't want to hurt her by something I say. Sometimes I know my feelings aren't correct, but they're still my feelings, so it's my truth. So I may not want to share that, but I think it'll come with time, how, and just going through, like, okay, this is something hard that I really don't want to say, but I'm going to say it, and let's see where we go. And when we end up being fine after that, that's just another proof point that we can overcome anything. So I will learn to say the hard stuff and look you in the eyeball. But it's just a process. But cut out on doing the heavy
and
stuff.
It takes me days. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I don't come that day and be like, James, you really made me mad this morning. I'll like stop talking. And I won't say anything.
The Cold War.
It's like the Cold War, the Cold War in the Davidson house.
Y'all call them Cold War?
Yeah. So her earlier point when she mentioned she learned through past relationships that she doesn't like to argue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hammer it out right now. Let's just go.
That's right.
That's me.
But I've learned I can also be very closed off. And we will go, I think the longest we went, I counted, it might have been a week. And I mean, like in the bathroom at the same time, not even looking at each other, and
like cooking food.
Yeah. And I won't speak for her, but I know for me, like in my mind, it's like this. Like, say something. What's wrong with you? But I'm like, see you later. Have a good day.
Because I'm not going to be the first one to get around.
No. And I remember the last time we did that. And this is how I knew, like we was BSing. The last time I did it, we weren't talking, and I took her by the hand, and I was like, look, this is stupid, this is foolish, and I'm just going to say something. We're not doing this again. And her only response was, okay. And that's how I was like, she was waiting on me. Like, and it wasn't from like a point of like defeat, but it was like she knew it wasn't right, and I knew it wasn't right.
Just so y'all know, the last time I was not in the wrong, and that's why.
That's fine. You can take the dub. I don't care. Because at a certain point, it's like you get too grown for like the petty stuff. But thankfully, we have not had a Cold War since that. We probably argued since then, but it's
probably. But it wasn't. It was like
small
disagreements. They're not arguments.
Oh, from Keisha's engagement party. That's where we grew. This is a growth moment.
I was like, everything
no,
was fine
everything
that night.
it was fine.
I was rolling through the night real quick.
But no, she was telling me because we were on the verge, and we walked away. We came back quickly, and she was like, "Look, this is what happened. I don't want to be mad at you right now. This is how I felt." And that was like the quickest we had like okay, this is what it was. My bad. I didn't even see that. I won't do that again. Let's continue dancing. So it was.
Definitely. I was like, this is it, Yeah. And I felt like this right then. I'm cool. I just want you to know, like, you almost like for real hurt my feelings. And he was like, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Let's keep having a good night.
That's humbling yourself to admit that. That's
it takes
what we're
a lot, and so
really working on right now.
You'll know this about being a man towards marriage. It's you have to sacrifice every day. Like that part of that selfish part of you has to die every day. I learned that from Pastor Stevenson. Because as a man, we want certain things, but we have to realize that it's not about me. Yeah, and that is so hard for me because I probably said like 5 times now, I'm selfish. Yeah. But in order for us to function, in order for me to provide, protect, all that good stuff, I gotta let that part of me die. It's a daily struggle. Yeah. But it's worth it.
That selfishness, and then like when you're fighting, and y'all have only been married 1.5 years, but y'all dated for a while before that, right? I struggle with that. I really do, because I'm used to in previous relationships where we have a disagreement. I'm probably in the wrong, but then I get upset and I shut down, and then it's like in previous relationships they would kind of coddle me, right? Even though I'm probably wrong. Yeah. And with Chelsea, we struggle with this too because she gets like really worried and concerned that she's done something wrong, and I'm at a different level of maturity now where I know it's like not you, and I don't want to put that on you. And so I'm struggling with that for that past selfish sort of mentality. How did y'all work through that? What has brought, particularly for you, James, what's brought you along in that development process?
Going through the fire, man. I mean, it's really the situations that you can learn from, because I mean, Ashley is a very unique individual. Like she said, she's not always going to tell you how she's feeling at the moment, and I'm someone who just continually just spouts out, this is me, this is what I'm feeling, this is how I'm feeling, and I need a response. She's not always going to respond, so it's the best thing is time and going through different situations. Because in, I guess, 2016, that selfish meter for me was up. 2014 it was higher, but it decreases over time, and the more familiar you get with each other, and you just have to be able to talk. Like you said, it's not perfect all the time. In the beginning, a lot of cold wars, but
even like before we got married, like,
yeah,
I made the decision that I didn't want to be the crazy wife. Because I could be like the crazy girlfriend. You know I can be the crazy girlfriend.
What do you mean?
Like I could be the girlfriend that's arguing and fighting or standing on top of a table and yelling at you. Like, it's okay. But I was like, I had to make the decision to be like, I'm not going to be crazy for the rest of my life. But it's not like me, like I'm going to be crazy. Like, you're not going to make me crazy by your actions. Like, let me look at this from like a bigger perspective. Like, do we need to fight about, like, do I need to yell at you and do like this in your face? Like, no, I don't. I just, because then tomorrow you're going to be like, I can't believe you stood up on the table last night. And
and it's what you'll have to do, Dexter, is you'll have to find a space to speak to yourself. So, and what I mean by finding your space is you have to be able to do things on your own. Because Ashley and I can talk, we can have good days, we can do all that. But again, as a man, if I'm not, I'll get biblical, if I'm not aligned with what God wants me to do in this marriage,
Tony Evans.
Kingdom. I mean, I haven't finished all of it, but the first couple of chapters, I was like,
yes.
I'm doing the wrong thing.
Right.
I need to get this right.
That's
Like
right.
I don't know what I said. I can't remember it now. I'm not gonna try and quote it, but it was something I read in there that was like the aha moment for myself, and I did that on my own. In fact, I think I started reading that during our last Cold War.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, something ain't right. And so to answer your question, like, how do you deal with your selfishness? You have to do it on your own and figure out what tools or resources work for you. If it's going and playing Madden or baseball for me, and I need to do that and just talk with myself. Because when you're wrong. Like, I think you said that, even if you're wrong, you don't want to outwardly project it. It's okay to be vulnerable with the one you're going to marry, or in my case, with my wife. Like, that's okay. She should be the person I'm vulnerable with.
And I can't speak for you, but I can speak from his actions. I think some of the time, or even like more in the past few months, I've seen him be like, I appreciate you. Like, what can I help you with? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you cook all the meals, like you go grocery shopping, you clean the house, you take care of this, blah, blah, blah. And in the beginning, I was like, I'm cooking all this food, I'm cleaning up, he messing up and eating, he leaving dishes in the dishwasher. And I would say, this is not you, this is me, I would say like that was a selfish part. He's like, shoot, I got hot food, I got this, I don't have to, I come home and play my video games. But now I do see more of him being like, okay, well, I'll put those dishes up for you, or what can I help you? Are you gonna clean up today? Let me vacuum for you, or something like that. Or what can I do that you are cool with me doing that you think like even if I mess it up, it's gonna be fine.
Right.
And I always used to tell James a long time ago, I'll be like, I chose you, and he was like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Oh man, yes, that took me some time.
And I would be like, I chose you, like. I'm not with you because I need somewhere like to stay, or I need a man. I don't need you.
That right there. That's
and
what
then
took me like,
he doesn't like that.
Oh.
I don't need you. Like, I chose to be with you. Like, so you better act right.
Yeah, her choosing was my way of saying like I need her. Like, I feel like I need her, and she's like, well, I don't need you. Like, my daddy taught me to be self-sufficient. I can change my own oil if I have to. I can do the tithe. I can do that. I'm like, well, what am I here for? What am I doing? But she, and her saying she chooses me, she values my presence.
Like, I want to be with you. Like, I want you. Yeah. I don't need you. You know, like, you ever been in a relationship out of necessity, or even a friendship or a job or something? Like, I need this job no matter how they treat me, no matter if I like it or not. I got to show up every day so I can get this check. Yeah. But it's like, I don't need you, but I want you. Like, I love you with all my heart, and I want you. So, like, we're here, and we're going to work this thing out.
Amen.
That is dope. Well, you have anything else you want to ask?
let's talk about y'all moving in together, because we kind of hit on it just for a minute before the cameras came on. Sure. So how was that process moving in afterwards? Because you said you lived by yourself for 10 years or so. Yeah. You're an only child.
I am an only child.
And so then bringing the two lives together.
Anybody. Like, I've never lived with like a man, a roommate.
Wow.
In college, but we had like our own separate rooms. Like, go in your room, close the door, lock it. Yeah. I got all my stuff in here. You're over there. Like, we share a bathroom, but I don't have to see you if I don't want to see you.
Right.
But, it was rough for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was tough because we had our own way of doing things.
Yeah, I feel like the little things is what's gonna.
So going back, James lived after you left college. Then you lived with your parents, and then my lease was coming up. I had been on my own for a while, and my mom goes, "Well, why don't y'all just move in together? Y'all gonna be together anyway, you know?" And I'm like, "No, Mama. James has never lived by himself." And I was like, "He needs to live alone so he can know, how to pay bills." Because I can take care of me. Again, this is the needs and wants. I can take care of me. So I need you to be able to take care of me. So if you can't how do I know you can take care of me if I don't know you can take care of you? And my mom would be like, well, that makes sense, but it makes more sense for y'all to split the rent. And I was like, no, Mom. So anyways, James ended up moving by himself.
Yeah. I moved to Sugar Land and stayed there for a year. And then moved to Missouri City and stayed there for a year as well.
And the first month, you didn't pay Comcast, and your cable got cut off.
What?
Yes.
When we were,
you shall know the truth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it was.
He was like, Ashley, I just came home and my cable's off, and I'm like, did you pay the bill?
I probably forgot.
He forgot. Yeah, not that he couldn't afford it.
He had
the money. Okay.
But you weren't used to having that, remembering the check and all that. Yeah, that's real.
And then I was like, boom, this is what I'm talking about.
So in college, I lived in the same dorm or apartment situation with 4 roommates, but I had my own room. But rent was like $350. So something incredibly crazy. But what I learned again, I'll go back to Pastor Stevenson. He mentioned a man having to struggle to like get it. Yeah. James struggled. I struggled a lot because it was different. You got the different bills, and then you're by yourself as well. And I hadn't. I grew up with 3 brothers who, we loved each other. There was never any fights, but I can always go to that person. But when you go home by yourself, like it's a different vibe. So it did take a while, but I got the hang of it, of like the bills part. And now I think that helped the way we discuss finances and who's taking care of what and who does what. And I have everything automated either in my phone to remind me, or Sunday night I know it's bills and savings. Like I'll put the money where it needs to go. And it took those 2.5 years, by myself to really get that.
And so when we moved in together, like we had to take 2 separate apartments, whole apartment, and I got a whole bunch, and we had to put it together, and it was just the moving in aspect of it. Okay, let's pick somewhere to live. Okay, so where do you want to live? I don't know. Where do you want to live? Let's go find some places.
I'll say this, and I'm not buttering nobody up, but listening to your wife helps.
That's the goal. The goal is listen to your wife. Anytime something good happens, I always go, listen to your wife. And then now
anytime
he tells people.
Happen, you listen to him.
And I'll be like,
went wrong.
James, what did I tell you? Listen to your wife.
That are kind of like, yeah, but I'll give it to you.
Now back to the moving in. So we moved in like a month before we got married. So we moved in together, and it was rough for me. It was rough because I was like, I'm doing all this stuff in the house. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning up, and he's coming home at 8 o'clock and playing video games on the couch all night. Also, right after we got married, James' dad got sick, and he was in the hospital, and that kind of took a toll on our relationship. Just, getting married, being newlyweds, like that. Literally, we got married on Friday. We went out of town for like a few days. Thanksgiving was Thursday, and James' dad was in the hospital on Friday morning, like had a heart attack or something like that. And then he ended up having to have this open heart surgery, and I was trying to talk to James about it, and James wasn't ready to talk about it. So at night, I would go to bed by myself, and James would just sit on the couch all night and watch TV. And that was something we had to work through that,
And we were just married, just moved in.
Like supposed to be like happy times. And we were struggling with our own stuff. And then like that happened at the end of the year.
December 16th.
Right? And then the next summer, 6 months later, my dad took ill and my dad passed away. So it's just been kind of like, you know, dealing with the emotional things, like the things outside of our marriage that have affected us. That's been one of the harder parts, but it's not like, it's not us, you know, it's nothing we can control. Just figuring those things out together, working through it, even, dare I say it, going to like a therapy or something. I know I go to therapy, or I have been. And I don't have a problem with it, just talking to somebody else, like talking to a therapist that's not your friend or whatever, and being able to just say however you feel to that therapist. And I think it's a great thing, you know, how that's such a nuance in our community.
Yeah,
but
such a taboo thing.
Right. But when I go to therapy, sometimes I walk in and my doctor's name is Dr. Taylor, and she is a black lady. But when I go in, I say, Dr. Taylor, today I'm finna cuss. And she said, and she be like, well, come on and cuss then. And I'll tell her, you know what, and this is how I feel, and this happened today. And she'll be like, okay, Ashley, so tell me about, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll talk through
I
the
need
things.
Dr. Taylor's number.
Right? Or sometimes I go in and I'll be like, Dr. Taylor, James is doing X, Y, and Z. And then she'll be like, well, did you even not tell him that he's doing that? And I'm like, no. And she'll be like, well, how is he going to know to change it? Or how are y'all going to know to work through it? So it's not even that moving in together was so hard of like getting along per se, but it was like moving in together and doing everything else we had to do outside of our life, but trying to keep the house whole and, you know, what you think is good.
Yeah.
You just got to find a routine that works for you. Because like the nights when James was sitting on the couch, or the nights when my dad was sick and I was in the hospital like for like 12 and 24 hours at a time with them, it was like, okay, when I go home, James would be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, can I help you with this? Da 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 da. Or even when James was sitting up, I'd be like, hey, are you good? You finna sit on the couch? You bring you some water? Because I'm about to go to bed. So just finding a routine, not necessarily a perfect thing. Realizing that everything's not going to be agreeable. Everything's not going to work out in the beginning. And it's like saying to myself, like, it's going to be hard. I've never had to share my space. I've never had to clean up after somebody else's dirty socks or whatever. Like Dr. Taylor says, if you didn't tell them you had a problem with that, how are they going to know to fix it?
Yep.
That is so real. Yeah. Wow.
Because,
So
I mean,
much
you get
more
mad
there,
sometimes,
too.
you know? You get mad and you're like, I didn't even tell. But you go tell some girl he did X, Y, and Z, but you didn't even say anything to him about it.
So the last part, we do a lightning round. Like I just want to stay here.
Well,
like,
this ain't the first time.
Yeah, because like there's so much in that too. We'll come back to that another time.
We can be friends for real.
Yeah.
And cut.
Signed the contract.
Right. But so this last part, we do a lightning round where we just have like 4 questions we're gonna ask you.
Okay.
And you just respond what you think, what first comes to your mind. All right.
Okay.
You ready, Chelsea?
All right. So.
Who answers first? We both answer?
Yeah,
Both
you both
answer.
answer.
Okay.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Sweet or unsweet? Or hot or cold?
Sweet and cold.
I don't really drink tea. Like, I force it down.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Tea is another thing, I don't drink.
No eggs,
So
no tea.
If I do drink tea, it's hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot.
Okay. Toilet paper over or under?
Oh, he's opposite. Mine's over. His is under.
What?
Yes.
Yo, what is
He's like, I don't even know.
He
Why does it
is,
matter? Like,
yeah.
I was about to say baby wipes.
I do buy baby wipes.
that works.
But yeah, when he puts, I can tell when James has put the toilet paper roll in there because it's coming this way. But mine goes over the top. You know, you fold a little triangle on it. Sometimes it's pretty.
I do that. Oh, I used to. I stopped doing it recently.
Yeah. Favorite TV show?
That's a.
I
don't know. I mean, you.
Scandal,
is
but
when
yeah,
you
it's
like-
going off. It's
Yeah.
going off. So
she was
sad.
on Designated Survivor, and that's done too.
Oh, it's designated survivor.
Yeah, they canceled it.
They canceled it. Yeah. So
I
what
mean,
you
can
saw this
only
week
do
was
the same
it.
thing over and over
Right,
again.
right.
So many times. Yeah.
I don't know that I have a favorite one. I mean, I'm ESPN and news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Favorite IG account.
The one we follow the most.
The Shade Room.
Yep. Yep.
It's really people for me. I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
one
Like
that I
who?
like.
Which
Yeah,
one?
like, is there someone famous or?
The Rock has been
The
very
Rock.
motivational.
Yep.
He
Dwayne
makes me
Johnson.
want to go to the gym.
I mean, he's also gearing up to run for president. So
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
I'm trying to think who else. I like Cory Booker's page
that's real.
a lot.
That's real.
So,
Yeah. Cool. And then your number one piece of advice to couples.
Stay committed to each other, and you can probably swap out committed for communication. Stay committed by communicating.
Okay, I like that. I would have to say, think about the other person first. Like, if you, in any situation that y'all go in, if you take yourself out of it and you think about like what the other person would want or their better, the betterment for your partner, then the decisions will be easy.
Okay.
That's real.
Cool. Well, thanks for being on
Thank y'all for
today.
having me.
We appreciate it. It was fun. Good stuff. Make sure you go ahead. Make sure you guys go ahead and give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and we will be bringing you guys more to come. So see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Deuces.